What's going on, everyone? Chris Mack coming at you today with the NECA Ultimate Beetlejuice Bio-Exorcist action figure. If you guys want to pick this up, as I always say, first and foremost, support your local comic shop or wherever it is to get your action figures and comics and grab this figure. If not, at the time of this recording, it is available on Big Bad Toy Store. And what really drew me to this figure was the opening, how it just looks like the old ad. You know, troubled by the living, is death a problem and not a solution? Unhappy with eternity? Having difficulty adjusting? Speak my name 3 times. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice! Whoops, you said it, guys. And then you open it up, and we see that awesome figure, Michael Keaton, the Beetlejuice looking creepy. Cool product shot there. Again, another product shot there on the side that's really nice. On the back, different ways that you can pose this figure, each one looking absolutely beautiful, and says includes hat, lantern, rat, newspaper, flyer, and interchangeable faceplates, heads, and hands. That's a lot for this figure. Another cool product shot here on the side. Then it just says Beetlejuice, Ultimate Beetlejuice Bio-Exorcist there on the top, and on the bottom. I love, again, how they always give credit on the NECA figures. I wish more places did that. Now, with this gushing aside and nostalgia aside, is this Bio-Exorcist figure cool or not? Let's say his name 3 times again and get into it. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. All right, Beetlejuice fans, what can I say about the movie that hasn't already been said? So instead, check this out. Apparently, the original script for the movie was way darker than the version we know and love today. That opening car crash, it was originally supposed to show Barbara's arm getting crushed, with the couple screaming for help as they drowned. Fun fact, however, the arm idea actually made it into the movie in a small way when Barbara mentions her arm feels frozen after they return home as ghosts. And get this, Beetlejuice wasn't always the ghost with the most. He was first envisioned as a winged demon bent on killing the Dietzes, and he actually had more than just his eyes on Lydia, if you know what I mean. And then another draft ended with the Matlids conducting an exorcism that destroys Beetlejuice, but then they get transformed into miniature versions of themselves and move into their model home, refurbishing it to look exactly how it did before the Dietzes changed it. Pretty wild stuff, right? So with that said, how does this figure live up to the decades of Beetlejuice madness? And I gotta say, this Ghost, well, I know it's supposed to be Bio-Exorcist, but it's kind of like the tour guide version as well. I wouldn't mind having the original, you know, him in the pinstripe suit, but I love this version when the Matlids, I think is how you pronounce their last name, summon him and he just comes out looking like this, and he's like, you know, I went to Juilliard and blah, blah, blah. I've seen The Exorcist X amount of times, and it gets funny every single time. So, that's just a great way to introduce the character. Michael Keaton really did kill it. And this figure really does capture his likeness. I mean, you look at the face, and he's just got that disgusting paint that they put on his face and all the green mold, and then the weird Hawaiian. I don't know if this is supposed to be like turtles or monkeys or lions, but nonetheless, it's funny. The belts. And then, of course, the mismatched shoes. You got one dress shoe, one sneaker. Okay, and then, of course, the dead white ghost paint there, so it looks like a death metal singer. Trench coat looks good. Again, I do wish that this was cloth instead of just soft plastic. I mean, I'm thankful that it is soft plastic. But still, trying to get characters with these type of material to sit down is such a pain in the ass, and that's the only reason that I hate the hard plastic. And I'm sure you could take it off, but with NECA, the figures are stiff enough, so I don't want to damage taking the jacket off. Speaking of, warm the sucker up, because I've had to do it twice because the joints just keep getting stiff, and it's frustrating. The hair looks good. I like how it almost has like a see-through quality to it. I mean, if you put enough light on it, you can see that it kind of has that translucent look to it. That's kind of neat. And then I can't help but thinking, when I look at that face, you think of Batman, it's like, you want to get nuts? Huh? All right, let's get nuts. You can see that in this version, and that's that wild hair just looks great all around. Then we get the guide head. And I'm glad that these head sculpts are really starting to look a lot better than back in the day. I'm glad that 3D printing has come a long way. That one looks nice. And then we get, I like this new technology because popping off the heads, you're always worried about the peg ripping. So I'm kind of glad that at least we get these face plates. So you kind of get one that has more of a booger look on it. And it just ports into the face. And you can almost, it's, you know, like it's seamless almost. I mean, you can kind of see where it connects, but it's not that bad. The other faceplates that he comes with is just really gritty stuff. I love it. I love everything about it. Now, in terms of the other accessories that he comes with, the card that Barbara and I can't remember her husband's name off the top of my head, Stephen Baldwin's character, Beetlejuice, the Bio-Exorcist, and whoever did that must have had a lot of patience to cut all those out. What I do like the most, though, in terms of paper accessories is the newspaper. The Afterlife Sandworm incidence increase, 13% from last year. It's a nice little thing. You can open it up. Can't see a whole lot. The words don't make a lot of sense. Let's see. Seance success contingent on nuptials between mismatched pair. So it feels kind of like in a Esquire magazine, and then you get the Beetlejuice thing that we see on the packaging there. That's kind of neat. It does fit in his hand. You just have to kind of play with it. He does come with this teeny tiny rat, so be careful. These small accessories can get lost. That tail's kind of soft, but still a nice little addition. I love this lantern. That can be used for so many different effects that you want to use for your figures, just not Beetlejuice. Has a little faux flame in it. You put some light behind that. That's going to look great. And then, of course, the mandatory hands. Plethora of hands with that nice little ring on the finger and all the nasty moss. So you kind of got more of a touching hand, which are the ones I kind of use this one for the newspaper. Got a cool pointer one. And these more kind of fingernail-y, nasty looking ones. It's like, okay. And then this one helps with the newspaper a lot. You can see how it can hold it. So yeah, that's kind of cool. And that just reminds me of, hey, looky here, and then you guys get the joke. God, I'm old. So yeah, the accessories are great. The paint apps look beautiful. And even though it's NECA, the articulation, particularly for this character, is not too gruesomely irritating. So even with the hair, pops right off. Get him to look down that much. And since it's kind of on a dumbbell joint, you can get him to go that much, that much, that much. 360. Single jointed elbow. At least go 90 degrees. Hands, of course, articulate just like any other articulation. So you got that going on. Good stuff. I wish he did have a solar plex articulation, but it's just at the waist. So you can get him to go down about that much. About down that much, and then he has a good twist motion there. Legs can go out that far. That far after you get them warmed up. 90-degree knees, frustrating. Does have the swivel, thankfully. But this one's more frustrating to move than this foot. I don't know if it's the way the peg and the shoe get together, but it's hard to move it up and down, but you get the gist. Regular foot articulation. So not too bad overall. I wish NECA would kind of get their articulation game in order and, you know, soft coats instead of this hard plastic stuff. I get that it may be cheaper to produce, but in the long run, if I had to pay a little bit extra for the soft cloth and maybe some articulation on the cloth jacket, I'd be a happy camper. What do you guys think? I'm actually really happy with this Beetlejuice release. Now here's the gang hanging out in the cemetery. This is the Nightmare Before Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors Freddy Krueger. This is the NECA Ultimate Wolfman, the Ultimate Bride of Frankenstein, and then one of my personal favorites, the Ultimate Sam from Trick or Treat. I love this figure. And these are ones that we've gone over in the past, so I'll make sure to leave, cards throughout the review so that you guys can check out these awesome figures as well. But with Beetlejuice, even though he's not essentially a horror icon like the rest of these figures, he fits right in with how disgustingly dead he looks. So I don't know, guys. I love this figure. If I ever come across the pinstripe classic look, I'll probably grab him. But for now, having the Bio-Exorcist version is going to fit awesomely into my NECA horror collection. What are some of your favorite horror icons? Do you guys pose them on a shelf by lines like the Universal Monsters and more like Freddy and Jason and Michael? How do you guys do it? We'd love to see either your action figure photography, your shelf poses, whatever you guys want to share with us. Take some photos and share them with us over on our socials. If you are a Tim Burton fan, a horror fan, or just a flat-out Beetlejuice fan, this figure is definitely up your alley, guys. Yes, the pinstripe the suit is always going to be the classic one, but this one had some decent screen time, and it's kind of how we were first introduced to Beetlejuice. So having all these awesome accessories, and then you find some spooky ones to go with it, and he just looks right at home like he is in the afterlife. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen on this figure, as I always say, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever it is you get your action figures and comics, and grab this figure. And if you've enjoyed this review, really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the channel more than you could possibly know. And if you don't mind hitting that fancy little ghost with the most bell, next subscribe. That way I get typical content. You guys get notified. Come to the channel, and I love talking with y'all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments or the socials, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, hope y'all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, everyone. Hey y'all, I got some action figures up for sale to make room for future reviews on the channel. If you're interested, hit me up on the socials or shoot me an email. I'm only using PayPal for now. Check out the Google link in the description for pricing and availability. If something grabs you, we can work out a price. And just a heads up, shipping will be additional based on your location. Thanks for supporting the hunt.